Welcome to Therapy by Choice podcast. My name is Robyne Vance. I am your host for this podcast and an associate marriage and family therapist working with individuals, couples, and families. My therapeutic services are offered through Therapy by Choice, which is a private practice with offices located in San Jose and Palo Alto, California. On this podcast, we offer educational information on a variety of mental health topics. We speak to specialists in the field, and we answer your questions. We focus on helping you navigate life's challenges and offer easy-to-follow practical advice and opinions. Welcome to Therapy by Choice podcast. I'm your host, Robyne Vance. In honor of World Mental Health Day on October 10th, I wanted to take this opportunity in this episode to share 10 practical and easy-to-follow tips and strategies to help you take better care of your mental health and mental well-being. So I want to start by providing a little background information on World Mental Health Day. World Mental Health Day is celebrated around the world on October 10th. And this day reminds us of how important mental health is for ourselves, our communities, and our future together. Founded in 1992 by the World Federation for Mental Health, this observance seeks to increase awareness, lessen stigma, and promote accessible and caring mental health services for everyone. Now, the focus for World Mental Health Day in 2025 is mental health in humanitarian emergencies. It highlights the immediate need to address the mental health challenges faced by individuals and communities impacted by crisis, such as natural disasters, armed conflicts, forced displacement, and other emergencies. Now, we know during these times, lives are turned upside down. Many people experience trauma, and psychological support is crucial, not just helpful. Today, you might see some people wearing a green ribbon. This small, meaningful symbol represents awareness for mental health. The green ribbon stands for hope, strength, and solidarity, and it is worn to demonstrate support for individuals facing mental health issues and to promote open discussions without stigma. So, without further ado, let's jump right into our conversation about 10 ways you can attend to your mental health. Number 1, the foundation of mental health, prioritizing your sleep. Now remember, sleep is not a luxury. It's a biological necessity. And research consistently shows that poor sleep is linked to increased levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. In fact, a study purchased in JAMA Psychiatry found that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night are at a higher risk for developing depression and anxiety. When we don't get enough rest, our brains don't have the time they need to repair and process emotions. This can make us more vulnerable to emotional dysregulation. Now, I don't know about you, I can go maybe 2 nights without getting a really good night's rest before I notice it starts to affect me. So how can you prioritize sleep? Of course, set a consistent bedtime and wake time. You can also create a relaxing pre-sleep routine, and I know the recommendation is no screens at least 30 minutes before bed. You can also make your bedroom a restful environment. Dark, cool, and quiet. And remember, better sleep equals better mental health. Number 2, stay active. Exercise for your brain. Now, exercise is not just for your body, it's crucial for your brain too. Studies show that physical activity increases the production of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that improve mood. And regular exercise can be as effective as antidepressants for treating mild to moderate depression. Now, it doesn't have to be intense to be effective. A 30-minute walk in the park or a yoga session can lower stress hormones like cortisol and boost serotonin. The key is to find an activity you enjoy and make it a regular part of your routine. Step number 3, practice mindfulness. Stay present and reduce stress. Now, mindfulness is the practice of staying present and fully engaged in the moment, and it has become a powerful tool in mental health. Research indicates that mindfulness can reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and even pain. Mindfulness meditation activates parts of the brain involved in emotional regulation and decreases activity in areas associated with stress. A simple way to practice mindfulness is through breathing exercises. You can try this one. Take a deep breath, hold it for a few seconds, then exhale slowly. Repeat this process for 5 to 10 minutes daily, and over time, you'll start to notice reduced stress levels and increased emotional clarity. Step 4, foster social connections. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. Humans, we're social creatures, and positive, meaningful social connections are vital for our mental health. Research shows that loneliness and social isolation can contribute to anxiety and depression, while healthy relationships can buffer against these conditions. Make time for friends and family, whether it's through a phone call, a video chat, a coffee date, or a simple text message. And if you're feeling isolated, consider joining a group or club with similar interests. Building a support system can make a world of difference for your emotional well-being. Step 5, this one's difficult. Set realistic goals and break down big tasks. One of the best ways to avoid feeling overwhelmed is to break big tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. Studies show that setting specific, realistic goals helps reduce feelings of helplessness and boost self-esteem. So instead of focusing on an entire project or a long-term goal, try dividing it into smaller chunks. For example, if you're tackling a work project, aim to complete a single task every day. And of course, celebrate your progress along the way. It's important to recognize your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Step 6, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. I know we are often our own harshest critics. Self-compassion, treating yourself with kindness during tough times, can improve mental health by reducing self-criticism and enhancing emotional resilience. Studies by Dr. Kristen Neff have shown that people who practice self-compassion are less likely to experience anxiety, depression, and stress. To practice self-compassion, start by treating yourself as you would treat a close friend. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, acknowledge that you're human and that mistakes are part of growth. Step 7, manage your stress. Find healthy outlets. Stress, it's inevitable, but it's how we handle it that matters. Chronic stress contributes to anxiety, depression, and even physical ailments like heart disease. One effective way to manage stress is through relaxation techniques like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or guided meditation. Even simple activities like journaling or drawing can help release pent-up stress. And studies show that writing about your emotions can improve mood and clarity by helping you process what you're feeling. So try to find activities that give you a mental break and help reset your emotional balance. Number 8, this is a big one. Limit social media consumption. Protect your mental space. While social media sure can help us stay connected, it can also have negative effects on our mental health. Research has shown that excessive social media use is linked to feelings of inadequacy, depression, and anxiety. Sometimes those social comparisons and the pressure to present a perfect life online can actually make us feel worse about ourselves. So try to limit your social media use, especially before bedtime. Consider setting boundaries for how much time you spend scrolling each day. And I know many phones and some apps are built in with a feature to track your time on social media. And remember that what you see online often doesn't reflect reality. Focus more on real-life experiences and connections. Step 9. Engage in activities that bring you joy. Make time for more fun. Don't forget to have fun. Engaging activities that bring you joy, whether it's a hobby, a sport, or spending time in nature, can drastically improve your mood and reduce stress. Studies show that doing things you love releases dopamine, which is directly linked to feelings of happiness. Carve out time each week to do something that makes you smile. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be an elaborate activity. Sometimes the smallest pleasures, like reading a good book, cooking a favorite meal, or spending time with a pet, can bring you the most joy. And step number 10, seek professional help. I know I've said this many times, but therapy isn't just for crisis moments. Seeking therapy isn't a sign of weakness. It's an empowering step toward improving your mental health. A therapist can provide you with tools, strategies, and coping mechanisms to navigate life's challenges. In fact, studies have shown that therapy can be just as effective as medication for managing anxiety and depression. Now, if you're unsure about therapy, remember it's okay to ask for help. There's no shame in speaking to a professional, whether it's for something as complex as trauma or every day as dealing with stress or relationship challenges. So there you have it, 10 ways to take care of your mental health, especially in honor of World Mental Health Day. Now, on this World Mental Health Day, let us remember that mental well-being is not a privilege. It's a fundamental human right. And even in the most difficult circumstances, care, compassion, and connection can make all the difference. And remember, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And taking small, consistent steps towards well-being can make a huge difference over time. Now, if any of these tips resonated with you, I encourage you to try them out and see what works best for you. And if you found today's episode helpful, feel free to share it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts so you get notified when there's a new episode available. Also, follow me on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook at Therapy by Choice Podcast for daily tips and occasionally some humor. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Therapy by Choice Podcast. My name is Robyne Vance. Take good care. While we hope to provide insight and education, our podcast does not replace therapy, and listening to our podcast does not establish a therapeutic relationship. If you or someone you know are in crisis, please call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988.